Hi there, this is Maneesh from PM Pulse bringing to you yet another power-packed episode from PM Ninja video series. In this particular video, we are going to talk about the new format of the PMP exams and the issues associated with it. Keep watching. We all know that the PMP exam pattern changed on 2nd of January 2021. However, this particular video is not about the technical changes in the PMP examination format. I'm not going to say, okay, which are the domains which are changed and what is the percentage of questions on what. Well, there are hundreds of such videos all over YouTube getting into the technical details. I mean, this is something which is so basic that you can just go to the PMI site and understand it completely yourself. It's quite obvious. However, this video is dedicated to something much more serious which nobody is talking about. Either people are too much into the business of PMP or they are just not aware, they're just going with the motions of PMP exams, but nobody is talking about the most glaring issues facing us when we prepare for the new PMP format. This format is just not a new format. It's also a new way of delivery of PMP trainings by PMI. So what has PMI done? PMI has organized ATPs. Previously, they were called REPs, like mine, but now it's called ATP, Authorized Training Providers. But the point is the delivery has changed a lot in the sense that now PMI has created the training content. Previously, these training content were created by the different REPs, and that was a good thing because individual REPs had a differentiator. They could actually justify the different prices of the training that they were charging for the same PMP training because of the kind of trainers they had and the kind of content that they were providing. How would they unravel the mysteries of PMBOK by providing you fantastic content? So people had their different differentiations. However, now ADPs have to only subscribe and only provide the content created by PMI. And I looked at that content. I have absolutely no good words about it. Probably the most appalling content that I would have seen in so many respects that I can't even begin to explain and could not be covered in this particular video. I'm going to create a separate video only about the problems with the content, the way it has been created, the mistakes, right? So coming back to the point, PMI has created their own content and they ask these ADPs that only use this content. And in turn, the ADPs have to charge individual candidates that they actually enroll with them for a specific fee, which is over and above their own fee. And that fee is for the content that they have to buy from PMI for each of these candidates who are actually enrolled with them. This in turn has actually pushed up the overall pricing of PMP. And that's what this game is all about. PMI has been losing money for quite a period of time and they decided, okay, we will just copy the way other organizations are, working, particularly Agile. Everybody's talking about Agile. It's the world of Agile. So let's only talk about Agile and let's Agileify all our, trainings, including PMP, which is now nearly 70%. I'm not kidding. Nearly 70% is from Agile. Now, the number of industries where Agile is not used, I can't even tell you the number of industries, I can only tell you this much, that 90%, 90% of all industries on the planet where they have project management, serious project management, they don't employ Agile. They cannot employ Agile. Agile can only be utilized. No matter what your Agile practitioners and wannabe experts want to tell you and convince you about, Agile cannot be applied in other than IT. Not every aspect of IT, that too, right? In IT and some portions of telecom, right? So But they decided, okay, that's where the money is right now. More people, there's a lot of noise about Agile. You know what? Let's put Agile in PMP. Let's have a separate ACP. And let's have 4 more trainings on Agile under the guise of disciplined Agile. All right. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video about why did PMI go for this change, right? So it's all about money. It has nothing to do with research that they're claiming. It has all to do with money, only money, and that too for a short period of time. All right. So a lot of people like me are up in arms about this new method, but this particular video is not about that. This video is for you, the candidates who would like to appear for PMP post 2nd January 2021 going forward. PMI has also created a document which is called the PMI Authorized PMP Preparation Guide, right? So that authorized material over and above the PMBOK is made in such a horrific manner, and that's putting it mildly. It does not make any sense whatsoever. It starts with building a team. It ends with what should have been told in the very first place about projects, about value system in an organization, about organizational change management. And it's just like all over the place. And when you go through that, you will actually find that some material is discussed here, then it is replicated somewhere else, then somewhere else, and it's kind of repeated and it's all over the place. Let's have a look at what is the content that PMI provides. So there is a PMI authorized PMP preparation guide, quite a thick book, PDF format, should not be distributed, so I cannot show you examples of it. And then the PMI says, well, you have to look at PMBOK, you have to look at the Agile standards, which supplements published by them, and also you have to look at this authorized guide. And you have to take all of that, and that's how the PMP exams are fashioned. But when you go through that guide, it's horrible because it's all over the place. And in many places, it is at variance with the PMBOK, right? So I'll give you a lot of instances in separate video for this, which is going to come in pretty shortly once I finish compiling. And I don't know if the video would be, I could make it short enough because it's going to become really long. That's the number of mistakes that have been made. And then I found that they have also got these spotlight videos, which are so basic. There are some YouTube videos on those very topics, which are way superior by a yard ahead of these spotlight videos, horrible videos. Quality-wise, yes, good. The voiceover is nice, but that's not what we are paying for. We are paying for quality of the content, and that's missing. It's very basic stuff that they talk about. The top of it, all of these 4 trainings that I attended, they actually, all of them are peddling, literally I'll use the word peddle, they're peddling old format questions as new format questions. In one case, I actually challenged them, and the person says, no, my content is more or less the same. So then I asked them, why are you charging more? So no answers. The point is, it's now become pure business. It's now become the business of PMP. And who will be the persons who will be suffering? People like you who are actually planning to give the PMP exams this. Now, does it mean that PMP is a bad thing? Of course not. PMP is still a fantastic certification. The content, even though I do not agree with half the content of what has been included as part of the PMP, does not, but PMP certification is still important. It will continue to be important. And each of these ADPs were using one of the most horrible slides. And where do these slides come from? PMI. All right. And how these slides were made, they just copied the material from the PMP, the authorized guide in the same sequence and put it up there. I've gone through 4 ADP trainings, same content, same training, and I could not even understand why there is a price difference among different ADPs when they are doing exactly the same thing, right? The only thing I could figure out is some ADPs were doing it worse than the other. I could not even say that some ADPs were better than the other. I'm sorry, I'm being very blunt. And because of the way the content has been created by PMI, It's extremely confusing. They have confused the hell out of people. And what I saw in each of these trainings is that the participants were just as clueless on the last day as they were on the very first day about the content and the coverage of PMP certification. And now the obvious question is, what is PM Pulse doing about it? The first thing I'm going to tell you is we are redrafting the entire course. We don't take any shortcuts. We don't believe in shortcuts. We are redrafting everything. We are going to make a content which is going to get ready pretty soon. And this content or training would be provided in a more logical order. It'll cover every conceivable thing that PMI wants us to cover, but it'll be done in a much more logical fashion. I'm going to create my own material, cover the entire content that you can imagine, and a little more because questions are still coming outside of even the content provided by PMI. So I'm going to provide every bit of it in the logical order, which will not only make sense for the participants, it'll be easier for people to grasp, and it'll also make sure that people don't get confused. They know exactly what's coming in the exam. They will know exactly how it has been structured and how to answer. The idea is that you need to attend a training which covers every aspect of the content ECO. And that's what we're going to provide in a logical sequence, right? Now, why are we different? See, first of all, we do not encourage any kind of illegal practices of sharing other people's material surreptitiously. We don't do that. And I really request anybody else who does that, don't do that. It's a really horrible thing to do, right? So don't do that, please. Ethics is not optional, right? It should be a way of life. Stop doing that. It's ridiculous, right? That's pathetic, right? Don't do that. How are we going to approach this entire thing? What kind of material we would have? Now, that's a question that you should be asking. We'll have the training. That'll have a very good logical sequence, live trainings provided by me, yours truly. Second, it'll be supported by a very nicely drafted, very accurate notes, ninja notes for PMP preparation. That'll be summary of notes that will make you prepared for the PMP exams much faster. That is going to work as something that you can rely on. That'll make your examination ready quite fast. And guess what? We have an audio platform as well. We'll provide you audio access because of this training. And we also have flashcards. And on top of that, I'm going to provide you the mock test. Now, none of those will be the rehash or repeddling of the old format. No, we're going to create absolutely new material. Everything will be new and it'll be attuned to the new format. And because of all this content, it will take its time. And therefore, the very first PMP training that we are actually going to conduct is going to start from 27th, 28th of February, which is a weekend, India timings, of course, because I reside in India. 27th and 28th, it's a weekend. And then on 5th, which is Friday, 5th of March, it'll be evening hours, 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock or 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, depending on the participants and their comfort. And then we'll go back to the full day session on 6th and 7th of March. So it'll be 27th and 28th of February, 5th evening of March, and 6th and 7th being weekend. Perfect. So that's going to be the very first session that we'll do. Very soon, I'm going to publish the entire schedule for the next 6 months for PMP Ninja sessions, right? Okay. Not only that, as usual, I'm going to restart my free webinars to help a lot of people, right? Another schedule will be created and will be there on my website, link provided. And I'm also going to restart the famous PMP clinic. That is paid webinars, picking up specific topics just for an hour or so and making a complete master. So those people who have already attended training somewhere else just need to master certain topics. They don't have to go for the entire training. They can just go for that specific PMP clinic and master the concept and go ahead and ace PMP. So in short, we're going to be back big time. Thank you for watching. This is Maneesh from PM Pulse, bringing to you yet another power-packed episode of PM Ninja video series. Subscribe to this channel because I'll keep on now posting a lot of videos about PMP, a lot of other topics on project management. If project management is something that you take seriously as a career option, subscribe. Take care. See you later.